The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
A recent investigation by the Los Angeles Times found that in the last decade, there were more than 100 preventable deaths in California psychiatric hospitals. Julian St. John was one of those victims.
Julian was our firstborn, so Kristoff and I were madly in love with him. Julian was always an eccentric child, always so playful and loving. Julian had an amazing relationship with his father. Kristoff was my first and only husband. He was a two-time Emmy Award winner, but Julian was also very close with his sister.
Julian was my older brother. We were two halves of the same soul. Julian suffered from a mental illness.
When Julian was in high school, I received a call that Julian was not acting right, saying that he was gonna get a gun, he was gonna have a shootout at the high school, and when the police got there, he was gonna turn the gun on himself. We made a plan to put him in a psychiatric facility. That was where he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. After my son was diagnosed with schizophrenia, we had him on medication, and therein started the cycle. For nearly the next 8 years.
He got into the hardest of drugs that there is to get into, worsened his schizophrenia.
At the age of 24, Julian jumped into oncoming traffic while high on meth and off his meds. It was excruciating.
You just don't know what to do when your family member is experiencing the symptoms of schizophrenia.
And that was why I had him placed in the hospital, in a facility in Long Beach.
Psych ward is really the last chapter of his life.
My son entered the facility in September. Within days, I started noticing problems. At one point, I walked in and I saw plastic bags, but they kept assuring me that everything was okay, they were gonna take care of the plastic bags. And then I remember the day he passed, it was Sunday and I was gonna pick him up on Wednesday for Thanksgiving. He called me from the payphone. I remember him telling me that he wasn't doing well, the voices were getting louder. I'd gotten the phone call. They found my son with a bag over his head, bruising on his face.
I just don't like thinking back to that moment. It's just too much. And same with my dad.
Kristoff and I went into a deep depression after Julian died. He went right back to drinking. He just could not stop. So Kristoff ended up drinking himself to death. I just kept thinking how preventable it was.